Thanks for tuning in again, everybody. We're back with your favorite podcast, Luka's Tigers and Bronze. Oh my. Listen, man, we're thrilled to have you on, especially somebody like me who's, I'm an old fart. So some of the moves you've made, some of your story, it's just one of those most foreign things to me. And I'll tell you, and we'll get into this when we actually, are on recording and stuff. But, the thing that's opened my eyes so much for this, we're 6 months and like 4 days into doing this, and we got, 80,000 listeners and all this craziness. I know it's nothing compared to what you built, but my favorite part is it seems like every guest we have on is younger and younger. Whether it's this 18-year-old who did this, whether it's Buster who started Hoops Nation, whether it's one guy, the kid who was investing in Giannis 8 years ago and turned his 20 grand investment into like $4 million. And we got people like you. It opens my eyes to like basically the new world economy, the new way of doing business. And Andrew has done that, with me as well. I'm still not drinking kombucha. And if I put avocado on bread, I just call it avocado on bread. It's guacamole, man. It's not avocado toast, so... But I don't want to use all my good stuff, man. But I'm really excited to have you on because, I mean, if nothing else, this shit opens my eyes to a lot of cool stuff that's out there. So I don't know if you've ever heard the show, but I'm kind of a little.
I haven't. Right? I'm excited. I like the name. That's all I had heard about it, but I'm excited to do it.
Age, if I could piggyback, because that was actually one of your better intros. So I'm going
to leave it as my intro. Leave it as the intro. Go for it.
And Luka Nation, we have a very special guest here today. You could put him under that teenage phenom category that we Cage and I keep talking about.
Yeah, you call it wunderkind. I tell you to speak English. So
that's really taking the hobby, but actually like into the business world by storm. If we kind of expand it out, and this is someone that, in my opinion, you're going to see on the Forbes 30 under 30 list in just a few years here. And his name is Jack Settleman. And I'll let Jack give an introduction here in just a second because I know I'm not going to do it justice. But really briefly, Jack started a company while he was at the University of Texas. He worked with athletes like John Wall and Mohamed Sanu. He had a massive exit, absolutely crushed the social media game right after, and now he's running SnapBack Sports. And picture this. 3 years later, he has over 1 billion views. That's insane. And just last month, just last week, he made that huge splash that's sent ripple waves through the hobby when he dropped 50K on the TopShot LeBron dunk, and people were like, he stole it, or people were like, he's crazy. What's this guy doing? So with that, Jack, if you could just, say hi to Luka Nation and just give a quick introduction, because I think people out there, they're compelled and they're interested by your story.
What's going on? I appreciate that intro. That was a pretty good one. I'm not going to lie. I appreciate that. It's funny that you said, we're talking about Wonderkin, the phenom. I was talking to a kid who was 17 who started his own sports media site. He's got 50 writers. And I told him, I have to ride out this young, next year, my birthday this summer, I'm 25. It kind of wears off the young kid thing. And then you're just a man of business and you're lumped in with the rest of them. But yeah, SnapBack Sports started my senior year at UT Austin. I was doing that e-commerce site. I saw there was a need for content on Snapchat. Just started doing it then. Quickly got to become the #1 page. I started with a sports business background, then became a content creator. So I actually reverse engineered. Most people they make this great content, they blow up, they have 1 million followers, and then they're figuring out how to make money off of it. We started from day one thinking strategically, how do you make money? So I think that's given us a leg up. But yeah, I'm excited about TopShot. I got into the hobby really heavily in March when COVID hit. I was really excited about it. And then I think I found a few things that are not great about it. Liquidity, physical shipping, eBay scams or sellers returning stuff. And then when TopShot popped up, I was kind of like, I'm already invested in Bitcoin. I understand blockchain and all this stuff. And that's kind of why we dove head into that.
So before we get to TopShot,
I want to do it over there. You touched on all of his favorite topics, right? Just right
Bitcoin. There. Let's just have Jack do a tutorial, a Bitcoin 101, because we really want to get into that. By the way, that was the closest Andrew and I have come to throwing hands is talking about Bitcoin, and he's a muscular
team
guy.
Bitcoin? Who's team Bitcoin?
Come on, dude. I'm so old. I'm team 8-track. You know what an 8-track is? No. You have no idea. So when I was a kid, when you bought a new car, they didn't even have cassette players in them yet. They had what was called an 8-track. Look it up, because I guarantee I'm going to go on eBay now and people are going to start buying them because I'm talking about it. It's going to be the next collectible.
Cage, Jack's going to bring us an audience and you're going to lose them all with your...
No, dude. We're gonna bring,
my day.
I'm going to bring the old farts with the back in my day. Trust me. Old people listen to me too. But no, so Jack, before we jump into Top Shot, and we definitely have to do that. You know, Andrew mentioned you got a billion, you know, views on your page the whole deal. There might be 3 or 4 people out there in Luka Nation who don't know who you are and where to find you. So, you know, where on Instagram, where on Snapchat, where on Twitter, where are you? Just drop your names and where they can find you so that they know who we're talking to.
Yeah, so Jack Settleman, Settleman, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. And then Snapchat is SnapBack Sports, so that's the name of it. SnapBack Pod is the handle on Instagram, and then the SnapBack Sports Pod is our sports podcast. So YouTube, TikTok, all that stuff. But SnapBack Sports or Jack Settleman, yeah, you'll be able to find us.
All right, cool. So then it sounds like an easy way to lead into this is you got into the hobby like a lot of people did when COVID started, which is going to give us a 1-year story, a 1-year journey from March to now almost February, a year into it. And I'd love to, you know, kind of go piece by piece, the ups, the downs, the peaks and valleys, how you started, what you jumped into, what you bought, then kind of like those negatives. Let's talk about the lack of liquidity. Let's talk about the logistics issues, the shipping, the returns, all that other fun. And then let's talk about, you know, where you are now, where you see the hobby heading, and then jump into Top Shot and whether or not you see that as a kind of a view. So number one, it's March, it's COVID, you're home, you've burned through your Netflix watch list and there's nothing else to watch. You decide I'm going to hop on eBay and buy some cards. Tell us about it. How did it start?
Yeah, so I would say 8 to 10 years ago, I had seen this website that you could buy stocks in a player, and they all kept failing. Multiple of them launched, but I always liked this concept of like, not only can I bet on single games, but I can bet on these players. So when Gary and other people in the hobby started making that comparison, it really intrigued me because I'm a believer in Giannis long-term. And I was like, he doesn't have the rings yet. Maybe he's a little undervalued. Maybe it's baked in. So I had a couple friends mention cards prior to March, and I had done some digging, but it's kind of tough to get in. It really is, like with grading and raw cards. You don't know what you're looking for. You don't know optic, prism. I mean, you guys know how it goes. So I would say in March, I did a bunch of research, watched a lot of Gary's videos, and then would kind of drift off from there to anything attached adjacent to it. My first buy was the Lamar Jackson card. I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan. A lot of the content is associated with Lamar. So I bought some Lamar stuff because I liked having him. And people had told me, buy what you think is cool so that even if it drops in value, right, you get to hold on to that forever. So I bought a really cool like Ravens emblem RPA to 5 of Lamar from his rookie year that I was super stoked about. Then I saw the NBA market had some opportunity. So I fortunately went MJ, KD. We'll get to it later, but I am a notorious LeBron James hater. So I didn't buy any LeBron.
Applaud this man. I love this man.
Yeah.
You and I can commiserate on missing out on the LeBron run-up, but I don't care. I love it. Yes.
So I bought MJ because I said he's the greatest player ever and held on to him through the doc. Like people were like, "Ooh, buy right before and sell before the doc ends." Like I wasn't really interested in the quick flip. I was buying these things for long-term hold. So I kind of built out my stuff. And then I started maybe over the summer looking into stuff I could flip. So Kyler, Drew Lock, Rui, like, you know, not players with a lot of accolades, but maybe I thought they would have a good season. So I quickly realized when the bubble happened and like LeBron and AD and those guys and the Jimmy Butler and Bam were playing in the finals and their prices were dropping, that we had hit a little bit of a bubble and that like these flip opportunities weren't as prime as maybe we thought they were going to be. So I just got rid of a lot of stuff that I don't think, like, if I didn't sell my collection for 10 years, I think those players will still be valuable. I have some risk, Lamar, Giannis, but like Kobe, KD, LeBron, MJ, all that stuff will hold. So it's kind of what my portfolio is made out of.
Why are you a LeBron hater? Just out of curiosity.
I'm not a LeBron hater.
Let me rephrase that because it's easy to find a lot of things in favor of LeBron, But there's also the fact that he's lost so many times in the finals, and and the way he unceremoniously went to South Beach, a lot of people that stuck with him. What is it for you? Because right now, actually, he's on a tear, and this Lakers team is on a different level. On a different level. I've never seen LeBron shoot this well. So what was it for you?
I would say I just early in my years, I was like, MJ's the GOAT. And I think I kind of was holding on to that. And more evidence came for both sides, but he kept losing finals. Like, people don't realize for every one he wins, he loses too. So because of that, you kind of have a lot to hold on to for both sides. The comparisons, I say the reason I think about MJ as a GOAT is because when I say GOAT, I'm talking like a draft, one game. Like they always say, aliens coming down. Who do you want to save the world? I'm going with Michael Jordan. LeBron James' career, though, for the length he's done it, no one's touching that. Like even Bill Russell and Kareem and all those guys. Like if you truly look at it, this guy's potentially the best player in the league for the past 15 years consecutively. People have tried to knock him off, but like he is that good. So
it looks like he has some tread left on those tires too.
It's crazy. Like
man, he went to hair club for men and everything. He even looks better. So here's the fun, right? What Jack's not telling you because he's shy. You know, he's got a billion people watching, but he's not shy. Here's what my thought is on LeBron haters like myself and you, Jack. You know, what do you call the fans again? What do you do, Andrew? The LeBron testicles? LeBron's what are they called? What?
Stands.
What?
Sexual.
Bronze section. Bronze testicles.
I don't call them that. The internet calls them that. I would just
whatever it is.
Name every time.
But if you have the bronze testicles out there, it's there's a reason, right? And here's the reason. Jack is not a follower. Jack is where he is because he's a leader. All right. And by the time Jack had his own money, and I'm just talking about dollars, not big money, but by the time Jack was coherent enough, LeBron was already installed as he's the greatest player right now. He's this. You weren't finding LeBron. You weren't going to invest in LeBron and say, hey, you know what? That's my guy. I found that diamond in the rough, like he did with TopShot, like he thought he was going to do with Rui and Kyler and the guys that he bought into this year. It's a psychology thing, man. It's you know, you don't want to say, oh, I bought LeBron, because everybody's buying LeBron. That takes no talent. You know what I mean? Half of why Jack is doing this shit is because he wants to be able to tell his friends, I got on TopShot before your ass, and now 2 people 3 days later have bought it for twice as much money. I was first, right? That's the psychology of it, right? You can't say you were first on LeBron. But you know what's funny is when I do the same thing too, I look back and a lot of times I'm happy. I made this money. I got into Devontae Graham and I got into this one and the whole deal. And I look back and I say, if I would have just put all that money into LeBron and just sat it there, I'd be doing just as good, if not better, you know? So, you know, I sometimes got to get out of my own friggin' way. So, but that's why he doesn't like LeBron, because, you know, saying you love LeBron, it's like pulling for Brady. It's like pulling for, you know, you want to find somebody who's good, but you were in on him. It's your guy.
And literally no one found LeBron. Like not even the people in 2003. Like this guy was pinned as the greatest player before he even touched an NBA court. So no one found LeBron James. So that's part of the fun of you know, collecting and making those predictions.
So October comes around. You know, there's a little bit of a bubble, you sell off. And what do you start noticing right around that October timeframe? Because that's actually right around the time frame right before the election, where Bitcoin and crypto starts creeping up as well.
Yeah. So I think that we're living in a digital age. We're living in an age where like people are tired of government, or not even government, the idea of someone above you telling you what to do, right? Like Patreon launches so people can monetize their own communities. Like even if, you know, you're talking about collecting shoes, like you can give that knowledge. You don't need to work for StockX. You know what I mean? So I think we're just living in that individual ecosystem where you can provide for yourself in unique ways. It could be a side business, it could be your main business, it can be whatever you want. Bitcoin is like the anti-institutional. So as politics and the government became a mess and the whole country felt like it was falling apart, that's a platform that's going to come to the front. And then they started printing money for fun. It's like, I'm sure someone could make a meme of like Panini and like the US Treasury just printing, because that's what they did with their base cards. And that's what the US government did with dollars. And every dollar that's printed, it hasn't fully connected, but like it should raise the price of an currency. So that's
100%.
kind of what I know. Yeah.
And what Jack's saying, I can't believe you know this at 24 because it's taken me 31 years to figure all this out. You have an incredibly bright future, but there's this. They talk about this on the stock market. It's called confidence, right? And I think what people have lost is the confidence in the government and specifically the Federal Reserve in this scenario to have the best interest of people in mind. I think that's really what it is, and everything stems from there. Kate, do you want to jump in here? Because I know this is one of your least favorite topics.
No, I love it. Jack he was as brutally honest as possible, and he has summed up an entire generation. And it is such a foreign thing to me that I'm learning all the time. And I know most of our listeners are part of this generation, but to those of you out there, Steve Harmon, Steve Entrepreneur, my crew, my guys who are getting into this stuff, who, when I tell you about TopShot and you look at me like I'm insane, right? So you got to listen to this. What Jack just said is really funny. I laugh at, and you don't even know what you said that was funny. It was, we're tired of someone on top of us telling us what we can and can't do. So to me, that's what I was raised to have as a life. It was, I'm going to get a job and someone's going to be a level above me and tell me what to do. I'm going to have a manager. I'm going to have a boss. And maybe one day I get to be a middle manager where I get to be the boss and tell people what to do, but someone's still going to be above me telling me what to do. And you did it with government. You did it with StockX. You did it with business. And it really is an interesting thing, right? So listen to what Jack's telling you guys, because obviously he's done it. He's done it himself. He's done it the right way. It's a different economy. It used to be the service. And go ahead, man.
Well, just real quick, the reason why is it's not just that. It's we've seen our parents and our friends' parents follow those
ingrained.
and not get ahead. And
but
that's really disheartening.
Yeah, but that's the point, and it's fun, right? Because, Andrew, believe it or not, I mean, I struggle to find why people like listening to you. I know why they listen to me. I mean, come on, listen to the silky smooth voice. I'm funny as all get out. But look, even Jack's got a crush on me. He's texting me, Dave, tell this guy Andrew to leave. But the point is, you're making sense, right? And the people listening to us, the people who are listening to this right now, they're part of this generation of the solo economy, the build this yourself, right? I can do this. I can be a university senior and build this company. And I think the card flipping is just one way of doing that, right? They can, like you said, Jack, you provide for yourself. It's an alternate way of doing it without somebody telling you what to do. And you know a little bit about it. You watch basketball games. I like that guy. I'm gonna invest in that guy. And so I really think what you're saying, people shouldn't gloss over it because it makes all the sense in the world. And I think that's why blockchain, things like TopShot, we are progressing because of a lack of confidence, Andrew, 100% right, in what traditional norms were, whether it be government, society, the way we worked, the way the way our parents did it, the way I did it, because I am a parent, right, is not going to be the way that the future generation does it. So guys, listen to what Jack said. I don't even think he realized what he was saying, but trust me, there's some shit in there.
I'll give you full credit because I think there's two things. Number one, yes, listen and understand, but have an open mind. You don't have to agree with us on Bitcoin. You don't have to agree with me on TopShot. But if you can have an open mind and understand that maybe this is the way, and then you don't have to make the investment. Even if I'm telling you, you're going to be able to put 100 in, get 200 out. If you don't get it, if you don't like it, if you don't want to do it, it's the same reason when people told me buy what you love when you're getting into this, because it shouldn't be affected by the dollar amount. Same concept of if you don't get it, then maybe it's I don't trade options. I don't get that. It doesn't amuse me. It doesn't make me excited. So I think you made some good points there about at least being open-minded. That's really important.
And what's interesting about that is we saw that in front of our eyes, Jack. So Cage and I, we got into a little bit of a debate on the Bro Namath episode. But what was interesting is about a week after that, Cage was playing around with NBA TopShot, and he was like, now I kind of get it. And the reason being, and I love what you said about being open-minded, is you don't know when things click, right? It's education, conversation, dialogue, debate, and then it suddenly clicks. And that aha moment's really interesting. You don't know when it's going to come, but it'll never come if you're closed-minded.
Totally. And the biggest thing, my biggest goal in life is, they always say be the dumbest in the room. I think that's a harsh way of saying surround yourself with smart people. But the only reason I have confidence in TopShot is because people I trust that I know are way smarter than me were putting way more money into it. So at that point I was it's not confirmation. It's more so these are really intelligent people using technology that's backed by really intelligent people. And then we're buying the greatest player of all time, the new greatest player of all time, LeBron James.
Before we get into Top Shot.
Well, there's no Jordan. If there was a Jordan, you could buy one. There's no Jordan moments.
Exactly.
Before we get into Top Shot, I read a little bit about you started your business with your brother, but I would love to hear, just a few minutes on kind of your background. You're pretty wise for a 24-year-old. So I'd love to know kind of your history, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'll give you the quick history. So I grew up in a family business, which is beer distribution. So we sell beer to the Ravens and Orioles. So what that means in terms of business is like when we're rooting for the Ravens in the playoffs, each win is more revenue for the business. More bars are packed. So I literally grew up watching my mom, who runs the business, my aunt, who's a big part of the business, my grandfather, rooting through a different interest, right?
That's
like
an alternate way of investing in sports. Let me tell you.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Literally. And so I think that I grew up with that understanding that like sports business is a whole different element than actually liking sports. People always ask me, how do I get into sports? I love sports. I say, go fall in love with the business of sports, then come talk to me. Because just everyone's a huge sports fan, but huge sports fans go and do their day jobs like a lot of people. So I grew up through that, did entrepreneurial stuff through middle school, high school, kind of always had that in me. And then college, sophomore year, we started an e-commerce site called A-List Design Shop. We advertise all through social media. That was me and my roommate at college. We worked with John Wall. We worked with Mohamed Sanu. We worked with, some athletes. It was cool. Post on Instagram, post on Twitter. And then what we were doing, we were paying like Buster's page, for example, Hoops Nation or Dunk or these big Instagram pages, hundreds or thousands of dollars to post our shirts or our sweatshirts or our hats. And so our profits were just limited. So I said, like, what if I just built this myself? Because then I wouldn't have to pay anyone. So it started all in like e-commerce and merch. I looked at Instagram, it was super busy. Looked at Twitter, it was busy. Then I went to Snap. No one was doing it on Snap. Essentially I took $1,000, would buy $1,000 worth of shout outs, grow the page to 1,000 viewers. Then I would go to a brand and say, I can get 1,000 eyeballs on this. Do you want to give me $100? Take the 100 back in, buy more shout outs until it eventually snowballed. I did that for like 18 months where the page was just a lot of content. It was called Real Sports because I was at UT. I could go to Mavs games, Spurs games, Cowboys games, Ravens games when I was home. My girlfriend's in New York, so I would go to Knicks games, showcase those experiences. And then like 18 months in, I realized the page is kind of just, Sports Center or House of Highlights on Snapchat. So I got to start making content, make the page more unique. So I tie in those biases to the Knicks, to the Ravens, to Texas football, where I went to school, made the podcast and started to do Twitter, Instagram. And it's just kind of gone since then. It's mostly a one-man show, at least in the content space. I have a podcast co-host, which is my best friend. We have a business director who's kind of helping me out. My brother worked with me this summer. We did YouTube stuff. But the next step is kind of finding a partnership or just I quit my job 2 weeks ago, actually, to work on SnapBack full time, which was exciting. So the future is bright. I'm excited for it.
Unbelievable. I don't know if you guys realize this.
Well, Andrew, what's unbelievable is he quit his job. I mean, Andrew believed in this podcast so much that the day before we started, before we had a single listener, he said, I'm quitting my job. I'm just going to quit my job too. And it's done. And this is his full-time job. So he's that bought in. This is it.
It's amazing.
I mean, Jack could attest this. You got to go all in on what you believe in. Like, if not now, then when? Right?
That's
and what do you lose at the end of the day too? Like, you have your family who loves you and supports you, the family business.
So you get paid in time with me. You're a rich man.
Dude, it's funny. I asked for a mentor and I got you. So I don't know what that is.
you got to share into that stick. Oh man, it's fun stuff. But listen, Jack, this is an awesome story. I mean, and yes, Andrew is 100% right. We talk blockchain. I mean, you can listen to that episode with Bro Namath, who, by the way, a shout out to Bro Namath. I just picked up some cards for a PSA sub. We're closing off our sub this month and we'll open up again. I just picked up from a local listener and he mentioned the Bro Namath episode again. He's like, I'm going to message him and I'm going to ask him some questions, blah, blah, blah. we got into it about Bitcoin. So if you want to listen to an episode, that's a good one because you'll end up buying Dragon Ball Z cards.
Check that out.
you'll take your TopShot money and be buying Dragon Ball Z. Go ahead.
That's a perfect example of what we were talking about earlier. Pokemon. Like I was talking with Buster. I had been texting with him. Like we were big into basketball, and he was like, "Yo, Pokemon, the place to do it. Like the place to buy." Did my research. I knew that the market was about to skyrocket. Felt very similar to the beginnings of TopShot now. And I was just like, I don't get it. I don't root for Charizard to score triple doubles. Like it's just not my thing. So even though there was a great opportunity to make money and there was research that I did, I just chose to sit that one out.
All right. Well, then you're not selling me a Hitmonchan. But so
okay,
the
can I just touch on that real quick? I think
that's
a big deal because right now a lot of people are going to be out there chasing LeBron Topps Chromes. And I think it's important to realize there's always going to be another opportunity. There really is. Like I know if you're too short-sighted, you're not going to see it, but there will be another opportunity if you stay patient and do the research. So
some would say that the opportunity on LeBron is gone already.
Yeah, then you also have MJ Fleer's PSA 10 selling for what? It's going to be a large amount when that auction ends. So LeBron's always going to correlate to that. But people said with Bitcoin that you were too late on that, which was wrong like 10 separate times. And then people are like, okay, well, you can't make money in crypto. And then Ethereum's up, and then TopShot's a new way to essentially invest in this Bitcoin blockchain technology trend that we're seeing. So I think you're right. There's always going to be another opportunity.
Really simply, someone stops you on the street and are like, what is this NBA TopShot, Jack? How do you go about explaining it to them?
I would say, so I was DMing with a kid on Instagram who was trying to get it. And he literally says to me, so it's a digital sports card? And I said, yeah, simply it is. Now, understanding why that holds value, that's a whole different conversation. But I think in its wholeness, it is a digital sports card. And that's, I think, the best comparison we can make right now.
The only thing I'll add to it, and I love it, is it's scarcity, right? So what makes cards worth money, right? There's a tangible asset. You could argue that there's a tangible asset on the Flow blockchain for TopShot, right? But what makes PSA and BGS and valuable is that they create scarcity, right? They create a scarcity in a Prism card that otherwise would have thousands upon thousands of thousands. If there's only 10 limited numbered ones and even less that are graded PSA 10, there's an artificial scarcity created by that. On TopShot, every one of these things are serial numbered, and some of them have lower serial numbers and some of them have higher serial numbers. And so there is all the earmarks of the tangible collectible. And this is the thing I get. People are like, oh, it's on YouTube. I can watch the same video clip. You don't own it. You don't know. You get royalties. And I'm like, yeah, okay, but you could also look at the same picture of Mickey Mantle on the internet too that you have on the cardboard. So I mean, it's definitely a hurdle. And the fact that I bought into it, Andrew, is probably surprising as hell to you, but
I'm impressed. No, I'm impressed. Like a lot of the traditional collectors don't get it, which is fine. I'm not expecting them to, but then I've seen some people really take an open mind to it. And my best example was exactly that. The Mickey Mantle. I think you can take it a step further because people say, can I screen record it? Can I make it on Premiere, Photoshop? Yes. The same way I could print out a Mickey Mantle, make it look like it, put it in a fake PSA case. And then, do I own that? Of course not. I think the license with the NBA is a huge thing that's really underrated with the TopShot. But exactly like you were saying, LeBron Topps Chrome, PSA 9 selling for $25,000. And we're getting the scarcest, in my opinion, Kobe tribute dunk, serial number 23 jersey match to LeBron James for twice that. And how many PSA 9 Chromes are out there? There's not a lot, but there's some. So I think that was a big part of our decision.
Well, listen, the jersey number is going to be huge. Everybody loves that stuff, and everybody, intangible assets, that's huge. I think the purchase you made is probably going to appreciate tenfold within the next couple of months, just because there's a lot of reasons for it, right? There's a lot of reasons for why the prices are going up, and the tie to that altcoin, the tie to that, the blockchain is an interesting thing. It's a way for somebody like me, and if you're listening out there, guys, message us. We'll get some stuff. Jack's explaining it really well, but it is a way for you to get some exposure to the blockchain investment. and still tie it to the sports that brought you into card collecting and brought you into this arena. So Andrew's big talking about how this, we talk about more than just cards. We're an alternate investment strategies, podcast. I say, just tell me when you want to talk about Michael Jordan rookies and I'll chime in. But he's got knowledge of all the rest of the stuff. And to me, this was a cool expansion of my knowledge base. And I can tell you in the last I haven't even been done it for 2 weeks. So I got in 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
So tomorrow will be 2 weeks for me. I've easily spent 150 hours, 150 hours of research I've done on it. I mean, I basically live in the marketplace. Like I could tell you what whatever circulating counts are right now. I could tell you, I could tell you what the prices are going, what the marketplace is at, and but yeah, I mean, but like anything else, guys.
Traditional guy, Jack. You'll get to know that. He's got a Cage is an interesting guy. He's got some traditional things to him, but when he believes in something, he dives in and he does the research. And it's really impressive what he's done in the last few weeks with it.
That's exactly what you need to do. And the same people that laugh and say it's dumb are the same people that if they really were intelligent, the first thing they would have done was bought up everything on TopShot as a hedge. Because anyone whose first instinct was, oh, that's so dumb, is probably intrinsically trying to protect, oh shit, I have a lot of money tied into physical cards. What if this is it? So why not just hedge, right? Like if you're so smart, all smart people hedge. Like we like to ride out Ravens to win the Super Bowl where I would have won a lot of money. But if I had hedged, like hedges are a really smart business practice. So I think what you're doing is really smart.
Well, we talk about diversifying a portfolio, and we talk about it with cards. Right. We talk about it with, having some quick flips, having some baseball, having some, you name it, having access to, some blue chips, the flight to quality sometimes, depending upon where the market goes. And I just viewed it as, this is just another couple of % of the portfolio of a diversified collectible portfolio. That's it, So the percent has gotten bigger over the last 2 weeks just as the thing kind of exploded. But, I mean, I it's enjoyable too. And a couple things, Jack, just to make you feel better about your investment, right? One, the Asian markets haven't even been allowed in yet.
Yep.
Okay, so think of when that ravenous basketball fandom gets combined with the fact that it basically is a digital basketball card slot machine. I mean, that is all it is. You open these packs and boom, boom, boom. It's 3 cherries. No, it's 3 LeBrons. It's a LeBron.
Yeah.
It's Vucevic. It's but it's John Wall. I mean, it's fun. It's presented well. If I were better at the social media stuff, I would be live streaming the breaks of the packs online and showing, hey, look what I'm going to open up and I got a LeBron. We'll figure that out, Andrew.
Gage, we'll get there. We'll get there. We have a producer. We got a team. We'll get there, my friend.
Yeah. So, I mean, are you buying it consistently? Did you just make the one buy? You have people, buying for you? What do you got going on? Did you give somebody money and say, here you go?
Yeah. So it's funny. I would say in August, what's the 8th month? August, because I was just looking back at a DM. In August, I was DMing with Pranksy, and you know who Pranksy is. It's the guy we end up buying the moment from. So I was DMing with him. I was like, what do I buy? What do I do? This is back in August. I didn't get it. So I just let it go for a few months. I jumped back in because I don't know why I jumped back in, but I was like, oh, this, okay, now I'm starting to get it. The market maybe was more defined. There was more people in there. So I started buying and everything I touched went up, which is obviously an exciting feeling. So you continue. And I kept saying, all right, I'm done. I put in enough, like it is what it is. I just kept putting in more. And then, I finally get my LeBron Cosmic, and like after seeing what sold today, I got it for a really good deal. And I haven't sold a single thing. I have not sold a single thing. I'm not in it because my bet is on the platform, and my way of diversifying is owning CP3, Kawhi, Donovan Mitchell, right? So in a rise, all those guys will rise. I'm not just betting on LeBron James. As I'm seeing the market rise, I'm telling my friends, like, guys, I'm telling you, like, this could be the holy grail moment of the entire, like, Mickey Mantle sold for 5.2 million. Like, this could be that moment. It really could be and to me, like, Mickey Mantle, that card isn't even the holy grail of all cards, in my opinion. But on an NBA platform, number 23 jersey match, tribute to Kobe Bryant, like, just such an iconic, cool moment. First series. So I raised some money between just family and friends. They were excited. They've never been more excited than today. Like the chat's like even if this goes straight to zero, this has been so awesome, so fun. Like we were first. We could be dead wrong in the end, but like we were first, we got it right for now. And I think like I'm not selling a single thing. The only thing I am selling is I took $1,000 and I'm trying to see if I can take 1,000 and turn it into 100,000. I don't know if it's going to be possible on the platform. It probably would be very difficult, but I'm just doing that challenge, talk about it on TikTok or Twitter or wherever I do. And I want to play a fun game because I am too afraid to sell anything. Like I traded some stuff to get a LeBron dunk before, and like that stuff has gone from $300 to $5,000. Like it's just too scary to me that if any people will say, of course, like take some profits, like play with house money. I'm 24. Like I can't, like there's too much regret. And if everything goes to zero, I know I'll have enough time. I mean, 50 more years before I'm gonna try and retire. So
a couple things to unravel there, right? So number one, we will leave towards the end. What is your grail if it's not Mickey Mantle? So think about that. And number two is everybody on this platform is you, Jack. You're probably an old man on this platform besides me. I'm literally double the age. So everyone's saying the exact same thing. Everyone's saying I'm buying not into John Wall or Bradley Beal. I'm buying into the platform, and I'm in the first day. And as of last week, there were like 2,500 total active users. That was all there were, right? And now there's like 20,000. Like it's 10x in the last week. And that's
Did you try to buy the packs yet? Like it's impossible.
The cool cats from this morning. Were you on?
Impossible. Yeah, you can't buy them. Did you get any?
This guy got 5.
Oh, all right.
One of 507 users who were able to buy packs this morning. Yes.
Crazy.
I got 5. So, but here's the everyone's not selling. Everybody's in it with you. Everybody's saying, "Oh, I'm holding this because whatever." And plus they invested so little. You know what I mean? Because the people who are in the early adopters are like, I put $1,000 in, it's worth $300,000 now. It's like Bitcoin at $3. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, it's just like you said, a hedge. You name it. So I love it. I think it's fun. I think the platform's cool. I can't wait to see if it actually develops into anything. Do I think it supplants and takes over the tangible cardboard? Absolutely not. I mean, that's a juggernaut. But I do think it's one or two. I think Rovell wrote an article about it recently. I think it takes one or two big names. The John Morant that broke your record after a day, that was bought by a conglomerate with some people we know also. People are, and it's smart people, and it's people who you would know if we told you their names. You know what I mean?
No, I know. I'm very close to the people that bought that one. I used to work with them. Like that when I'm saying those are smart people, that's a huge group of them. So it's
guys, can we get a little tactical? If we could talk about packs versus marketplace, I think it would really help a lot of people because there's two different strategies, right?
100%. Go for it, Jack.
Jack, when you first started, were you opening packs or were you buying marketplace?
No packs. I was buying everything marketplace. Then pretty much any pack you open or buy is worth like 5. Like if you can get your hands on a pack, it's worth a lot. So now I got like 10 probably Series 2 packs I'm not touching because you're going to be able to sell whole packs. I have a Deck the Hoops pack. It's like holding wax for years.
I wish I had a Deck the Hoops pack.
Right. If I had like a cosmic pack, I would never open that. Right. Because the second you open it, it could be a Bismack Beyond. So
we'll answer that Andrew, but I'm going to tell you, Jack, because I know you're going to be doing content on this. Yours truly has 37 unopened Series 1 packs.
There you go.
And I have 100 Series 2 release 1s with the labellos just sitting there waiting so somebody can open them online, do a video, make some content about it. And, because I think more people are going to be interested in it. But for Andrew's question, you were on the marketplace. And what that is people have open packs of cards. So the first way to do it is you can open a pack. They sell packs. There are common cards, rares. They do rare releases. Today was a common, but Cool Cats it's called. And previously there were these legendary drops. The Cool Cats is an ode to, it's the same company that did Crypto Kitties. Right, which is like another one. That's little homage to their, Dapper's first, big crypto, entree. So people who open these packs, there's a marketplace. In a real time, you can sell these moments, and it's a no backseats. It is a star stock model, right? It's on blockchain. So you put it up. This is the price. Someone else gets it. It's gone. There's no logistics. There's none of the stuff you were talking about as that down part of the hobby, right? There's no eBay. There's a fee, it's 5%, but there's no shipping it. There's no tracking it. There's no, I want it back. There's no John Wall just broke his, his pinky toe and I'm mad I paid $3. I want my $3. But there's none of that, right?
Instant ownership transfer, blockchain.
Yeah. Right away.
Instant ownership transfer, blockchain. That's tattooed on Andrew's ass. So you could buy on
the tramp stamp Cage.
It's the tramp stamp. It's the target.
Cage is on my ass.
It should be. So, but you bought all marketplace, huh? That's amazing. And guys, just as an example, right? So literally last week, Kevin Durant's first moment came out, right? And it's because he didn't play last season. So his moments were last season, up. Right? So why? How many do you have?
No, so it's funny. I was on the phone. I was on the phone with 35 Ventures, and I was talking to the guy who runs Boardroom Breakers, and he was like, "How many Kevin Durant moments are in Series 1?" And I go look, and I'm like, "Holy shit! There's 209 Kevin Durant Series 1s. Like 209. Like there's more LeBrons. There's more. Like that's it." So I bought a few of them, 6x in a week. Like it's so the series, I still think those are low because it's Kevin
those
Durant.
are a lot of money. I already not spending $4,000 on a Kevin Durant moment for right now. But
we have a call with the Boardroom Breakers guys. So if you have any suggestions, Jack, I'm really excited to connect with them.
Yeah.
So the Kevin Durant Series 2 moment is his first base common moment that just came out last week, and there's 7,500 of them, which is still so low when you think about the overall market of people who could potentially be looking for those cards. It's his first moment. People didn't realize that. His first common rare moment. And when it came out, you could buy as many of them as you wanted for $8, $9, $10. As many of them as you wanted last week. And I told Andrew, I told Jordan, I'm like, I'm buying these. And I think I bought like 40 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I never paid more than $10. And today they're like, a week later, they're like 80.
It's crazy.
It's insane. It really is an insane thing.
But I think what's important for the audience to know, because a lot of people are going to say, oh, pump and dump, bubble, unsustainable. But what you pointed out is that there's still only 7,500 base Kevin Durant first moments. How many base Kevin Durant rookies were out there? How many second years? How many Luka Doncic base prisms did Panini print in 2018? How many Colin Sexton 29? We don't even know the amount. We know the pop reports that are graded, but that's when you start to get higher serials and what's important. Like I bought a KD base number 35 serial. I think that's his true number. So I think there's a little tie to that. And then it's just like, that's a fun game within itself. That's a huge thing with the Asian marketplace. Like they're obsessed with numbers and number theory. There's just a lot of potential.
Yeah.
And guys, I don't know if you're out there, you're like listening, you're thinking like, why would this guy not sell? He's in the profit so much. Well, think about it this way. In 2020, people have made thousands of bucks on sports cards because sports cards appreciated. People that are on TopShot, what do they roll over $1,000 of profit, $2,000 of profit? They're just rolling over profit. So they're already making money. Why would they put out? It's working. So it's just something to think about. It's with all the profit in sports cards, just deploying a little portion of your portfolio here, testing it out, dipping your toe in the water. I think it's smart.
Well, the best part is, and it's great we have Jack on. I don't want to be just about TopShot with Jack because this guy, he's not a one-trick pony. But obviously, he's got some press for it, and we want to expand that 15 minutes of fame, especially with everybody trumping your price.
Yeah.
But the point is, guys, for those of us listening, no other sports card podcast is talking about this right now. Okay, and Jack might be, but no other. We're dedicated to the tangible asset that sports card. I want you guys to have some exposure to this and listen to it. And here's why: because it literally is still. They haven't even taken the top off the field yet. It's not even the first inning on TopShot, right? And yes, it's been around for 6 months, but there were like 12 people using it until last week. I was literally one of the first 2,000 people to sign up on their Discord and and all that stuff, right? So you want to talk about getting it on something early, and if it works, the potential gains that are there could be astronomical. Go ahead, and you do not have to do it if you don't like it, you don't enjoy it, you think it's dumb. Please don't. But it's just another one of those things where Andrew set a mission statement out with me in July, right before we did the 6 months, and this weekend we'll have 200 episodes, and he said we got to provide.
This is going to be episode 200.
Oh, so we got episode 200. There you go. So 200 episodes in, and he said, look, I don't care what you say. just make sure at the end of the day we're providing value for our listeners, okay? Because everything else will come from that. They need to listen, they need to spend some time with us and realize they got something for spending their time with us. That's what our proposition is, a value proposition. You get some value. There is value in this. Whether you buy in or not, we're bringing this to you before anyone else is going to bring it to you. So you have a chance to be one of those early entries. Now, I don't think it's too late. I think, you can definitely get in and make a ton of money on it. But, if it's for you, great. If not, at least we told you.
Yeah.
Can
the
I
value
drop,
I can
see if this adds value? And I want to hear what both of you think about this.
Go for it.
And the website intangible.market. Do you use it, Jack?
I refresh it like all those 19-year-olds refresh their Robinhood account.
So I'm going to ask Jack what it says, but he won't answer. That would be my cage match question for the day.
Well, that's my favorite thing is it's public, right? When Gary Vee is tweeting, oh, Devin Booker's an all-star. Okay, Gary, how many Devin Booker Prism PSA 10s did you just buy? You know what I mean? So I think that's what's cool. You can go look at my profile. Every time I tweet about RJ Barrett, I own 2 RJ Barrett moments. So I think that is what's really cool.
If we know your name. I mean, I'd have to find out what your name is on TopShot.
You can look it up. Jay Settleman 23. I don't hide it.
Hey, look at this guy. I'm nervous.
But that's
cool.
If you think about it, you could go and see this is what this portfolio, this is what this guy owns. This is his portfolio. These are the cards that were common and now they turn limited edition. These are the cards he's holding and selling. You're right. That's really cool. It's kind of like that back to that blockchain where you see all the transactions that happen.
Exactly. It's a public ledger. It's important.
And it also will help you with the pump and dump, right? Because there are people who come in, I love this card. Oh, everybody should be buying the John Wall. It's so underpriced. And then you put that person's name in and like, okay, he's got 112 of them. Now we get it, So yeah,
exactly.
I mean, listen, that's another thing I'm learning about with this, right? So the world has operated for most of my life in a shroud of secrecy. Right. And one of the things, the blockchain and the new currency and the new way of doing business is that everything's out in the open. You shine a light on it. Right. You're not hiding this stuff. Right. There's transparency to it. And look at this. You can see what Jack owns and then cry that you didn't get in when he got in.
The value I would add and the picture I would give is, yes, if you look at a week ago's prices, you're probably like, damn, I should have gone a week ago. And then you listen to this episode this weekend and you're like, damn, I wish they had released it today. And then there's always going to be that moment. But if you don't look and you look at the future potential, like you said, we went from 2,000 to 20,000 ish. We're in beta. TopShot's in beta still. They're literally admitting to the public, we can't even handle the scale and size we're at. You're saying someone big needs to get in. Everyone already assumes that's Gary Vaynerchuk. That's Rob, the guy who bought the Mickey Mantle. They're partnered with the NBA. Tyler Hero's promoted their product. The second that LeBron James acknowledges this, it's over. It's over. Like, that's your moment where it's over. 20,000 users is how many people are bidding on a single eBay in a single day? Like 20,000 is not a lot. This thing can have, and NBA is a global game. It's just like there was the early adopters, which is literally a pack on the site. Now you're early. And at one point you'll be late, but it'll still be probably a market for it. The same way I didn't buy the first ever sports card, right? Like this sports card, physical card is not a new concept. We're jumping in now. And I think that TopShot just has so much potential. And the biggest thing that we haven't even touched on, that I'm curious from a older generation, not to call you old.
I love it. It's all right. I own it.
Utility. Let's talk about utility, because Rob G buys a Mickey Mantle for $5.2 million. He's got that physical, tangible asset that he cuddles with at night. He sleeps with it, right? No, he took a picture, posted on Instagram. The second thing he did you see what he did?
Send it to PWCC. Send it to the vault.
He sent it to the vault. He sent it away. So what's he left with? A ledger and a picture of it. So for everyone who acts
and the Bernie Sanders meme with it too.
Right, exactly. So for everyone who acts like this tangible thing is like, all that you can do with that card is it could get stolen, you could drop it, the case could break, the air quality could ruin it, So I think people don't realize he just digitized a $5.2 million card, right? He could one day retrieve it, but I don't know if he ever will. So not only that, but there's no utility of sports card. If you get a bad card, maybe you wipe your ass with it. But besides that, what are you doing besides showing off a card? There's actual utility. You're going to be able to play fantasy with this stuff. You're going to be able to showcase this in digital art frames. Like, it's stuff that I can't even begin to understand, but there's actual utility that you can use this stuff for, which I think, once again, really cool concept.
And you got to get Rohan on, because we're basically doing an advertisement to TopShot. But guys, we're not getting $1 from TopShot for this. Yeah. And listen to how excited Jack is. I don't know if Jack's getting $1 from TopShot. Probably not. I know I'm not. But this is legit, like, excitement here for the platform. And you know why I like it, right? And Andrew, you could chime in, right? Cards have been cards forever, right? Cards have just been cards, right? It's been packs of cards. There are a few things that changed the dynamics of this collectible, right? So in the 90s, they started putting, autographs in. There were inserts in the 90s that weren't even numbered. So inserts were a thing. Then refractors came in the 90s also. Then they started putting autographs in the packs. They started putting relics in the packs. Then that was the same for 20 years. And then grading started to come. And then grading became a cool thing, right? And so the hobby evolves. And what's cool about this is this could be a shift in the evolution of how we collect sports moments. I mean, and that's what cards really are, right? It's Michael Jordan dunking the ball, flying from the free throw line on his 86th player. That's so.
This is how I'll chime in this way. We don't get a dime from TopShot, but our obligation and what people really want to be is more happy. And for better or worse, money creates freedom in your life. Money gives you an opportunity to do those things. And all I want to do with this show is shine a spotlight on opportunities, share what we've done, and let people go and do the research themselves. So I think it's almost our obligation to do so as a sports card and alternative investment show. I'm curious, someone's listening on the other end, and we'll get to your Grail question, because that's going to be the last one. What is truly your Grail card? What do I do now? Okay, so TopShot, I love this line. They're like, there's a non-zero chance that the site crashes. They sent that newsletter. I love it.
Talk about honesty. Talk about honesty.
I love it. What do I do from this point on? Where do I look for opportunities? And this is a question for both of you guys. And Jack, if you want to start.
I would say you're starting to see a bunch of content creators make stuff. So if it's informational, teaching you how to do, I really like that stuff. If they're, once again, saying, buy John Walls, this is the right way to do it, it's probably because they own some John Walls, right? So I would say go look for the informational content. The best thing you can do is get in the Discord. One of the things about crypto, blockchain, NFTs is people are obsessed with it. So they want others to come in. The richest guy on the platform was DMing with me back and forth in August, right? He's got millions of dollars and he's giving me 30 minutes of instruction via text. Like, you don't find that. If you go to the top real estate broker in New York, you think he's DMing back with you for 30 minutes? No, never. So the Discord's super helpful. Follow the right people on Twitter. Like, the NFT community is super fun on Twitter. I found them through this. I think it's been cool. Obviously, do your own research, watch trends like you would anything. Listen to you guys, because you guys have done your research. You know the market. I don't know if there will be like stock tips. Like, someone will try and do it and monetize it that way. But I don't know if that, like, it's going to be tough because you can actually buy so quickly, right? Like, if I release a tip, go buy Sexton on physical cards, well, you got to bid on him. There's different places to go. Here, it's like, if I say buy Sexton, then everyone's going, and the floor is going to be raised. So do your own research, kind of figure out what you think is going to be fun. Once again, buy what you like, because I really do think with the utility of some of this stuff, that's going to come into play. So I'm not going to be able to give the audience like, hey, go buy Patrick Williams. I will say the one actual tip I would give is,
here we go. Pay attention.
The rookies are getting a rookie tag similar to physical card. So RC on the rookie card in physical, they're getting a rookie tag. The market, it's baked into the market, but not fully yet. So there's only 3 legendary guys, Zion, Rui, and Ja, who have it. That's why they made the big purchase on Ja. He's eventually going to get the tag. But go look at Series 1 guys, rookies who, have those rookie moments that haven't gotten tagged yet.
You're not going to give my guy, Hero, a rookie tag?
So
after he went off,
but he doesn't have a cosmic. He doesn't have a.
So I was live last night, and once again about the transparency, I don't talk a lot of shit on Tyler Hero, but I don't think he's a superstar. We call him on the podcast Tall Bryce Hall. I don't know if you guys are on TikTok. He's a TikToker. So we call him Tall Bryce Hall. He's a great player.
I called Cage Josh Richards when he grows.
Yeah,
and he puts it in his eyes.
Exactly. So I think that I just when all the Heat fans, a lot of my friends are Heat fans, they were like, no, we're not trading Hero for James Harden. I was just like, who do people think Tyler Hero is? He scored 30 points in one finals game. I understand it's amazing, but like, can we pump the brakes a little? So he was like, I'm going to go check your profile right now. I own no Tyler Hero. But yes, I think rookie tags are going to do, a nice little bump into the market for sure.
Listen, like anything else, there's a history to it, right? Go look at what has happened, and then you can predict what's going to happen, but just be smart about it, right? So we give plays here. If I don't know when this is going to post, and it might be gone by then because the marketplace moves so quickly. But when I got in last week, it's not a lot of basketball fans. Believe it or not, people, they open the packs and they're like, "Who's Malcolm Brogdon?" And I need a Ryu Hachi, something.
Yeah.
Like he's like a Dragon Ball Z guy, Luke. I'm like, what? How much money are you spending? And you don't even Ryu. Who's Ryu? But so I looked at it, and Kobe White, who I don't exactly love, I don't think he's going to be, a Hall of Famer or anything, but he's one of the top rookies from last year's class. A notch below Hero and Ja and those guys, but he's obviously, he plays well, scores a lot of points. While the Ja and the Zions were going for so much money, you could buy Kobe White's while it was still, alive, Series 1, $3. And then it went to limited edition, which is what happens when the series ends. It went to limited edition. And now those $3 cards I was buying at $3 are $69.70. So I look at the Series 2. Now, keep in mind, Series 2, Kobe White, as of yesterday, they upped the production number to 12,000 and potentially growing. I think it's going to stop at 12,000, but it's 12,000. So chances are it's not going to have the exponential growth that the Series 1 that had 1,500 of went to $70. But you can buy Kobe White for $3, $4, $5. Does it have to go to $70? No. But if you're buying them now and buying a bunch of them for $3, $4, $5, and instead of going to 70 when it goes to limited edition 12, it goes to 10, it goes to 15, you've now doubled or tripled your money. So there's an idea for you. And if you're not a Kobe White guy, put it in John Wall, or put it in, here's another one, Keldon Johnson, the Spurs guy. If you're a basketball guy, you know all about it. You're investing in his Prism cards because he showed up in a potential all-star caliber player this year, right? But Series 2 is his first moment. They didn't have one in Series 1. And you could buy him the same $3, $4, $5. And there's 12,000 of them, but it's a first moment for him. And if it stops at 12,000 and there are people who are basketball fans and he turns into half the player people think he's going to be, that card doesn't have to go to 50 or 60 or $100. That moment, I called it a card, I shouldn't do that. That moment turns into a $10 or $15 moment. You've doubled or tripled your money. So there are definitely plays in the marketplace that you can make. I think I just gave you two of them.
I think we have a hard stop, Jack. Yep. We would love to have you back on because your wealth of knowledge.
My hard stop was at 4.
Mine's now. You guys can keep talking, but I gotta go.
Gotcha.
What's your grail? What's your grail?
My grail for now is the Chris Paul. CP3 is my favorite player, so I bought a nice one of CP3, and that one, like I got an offer for 4x, and I'm like, I don't know if I'd ever sell that one. Wow. We'll see.
What do you think about the trade that got vetoed by David Stern?
I mean, I was younger when that happened, but I was kind of pissed because CP3 had some fun. Like the real reason that I was upset wasn't because of playing with Kobe; it was playing with Dwight. He was so dominant in pick and roll with Tyson Chandler. Like, give him the best big in the league at the time, and that, like, you see what he did in Lob City with DeAndre and Blake Griffin. Like, literally give him Dwight Howard and then have Kobe on the wing would have been. I mean, they would have won rings. I'm pretty sure. And CP3, it's the one thing. He's been unlucky. That trade gets vetoed. That's probably a ring. He doesn't have a ring. They're the only team to ever get close to beating the KD Warriors. His hammy goes out, and then like people talk shit on him as a person, and he's kind of resurrected that with the OKC run. But CP3, like, people don't realize that's a top 5 point guard of all time.
Yep, one of the smartest players too. I think he's kind of like a player coach. Yeah, we'll wrap with this, and my tip is when we first started this podcast in August, actually July. My play was Tyler Hero. And again, it wasn't Tyler Hero being a Hall of Famer. I always look at ratio or proportions. And the Tyler Hero Prism card was $15 to $20, where Zion was $200 and even $250. And that proportion, that ratio didn't make a lot of sense to me. So what I would say is go on Marketplace, create an account, don't deposit any money, and just look, follow the Marketplace and try to compare. It's a little harder with TopShot because there's different releases, but try to find the apples to apples comparison. And you'll see like Ja Morant and Zion cards go up, but their relative like younger brother, well, there's a delay, there's a lag. And if you're able to spot those trends, you'll understand that when the Jaws and the Zions move, these are the two next guys that follow. And after Tyler Hero and Rui follow, then we have Kobe White. And that happens everywhere. You see that in the stock market. You see that in Bitcoin, and then Ethereum follows, and then Litecoin. And you see that across the board. And I think that's just a great way to get into something and kind of learn and understand the marketplace a little better.
Don't even need to add to it. I think you nailed it on the head. It's my logic why I was buying RJ Barrett. The kid was 19. He was the third pick in the draft. Oh, hey, he plays in New York City. The Knicks fans are actually like, they would give up body parts to see the team play a playoff game, let alone like have a superstar. And like RJ Barrett was so far behind those guys, so far behind even Hero and Kobe. And I was just like, why don't we give him a season with some spacing and good coaching and see what happens? Now you kind of see what's happening. The kid scores a career high last time.
Best defense. Yeah. And you're a Knicks. Did I hear you drop in? You're a Knicks fan?
I'm a Knicks fan. When I moved to New York, I got season tickets as an investment, as an alt investment. It was a brutal investment, but it gave me the chance to renew. And I actually renewed before this season. There's no fans this season, but it's for the next season. And I actually believe that the ticket prices will be like, once fans are back, the Knicks actually have a bright future and could be good. Like we're 8-8 right now. Those tickets could be really, really good.
With some impressive wins too. What do you think of Obi Toppin quickly as your draft picks?
Yeah, so I was looking at when I was doing the $1,000 challenge last night. The first buy I did was a Zach LaVine. He plays tonight, and then he plays the Lakers and the Celtics. So 3 good opportunities for him to kind of be on ESPN. But I was looking through. Quickly doesn't have a moment yet on the platforms, but I love Quickly. Like I literally think he could win Rookie of the Year if he gets enough minutes. Toppin, the flaws he had are kind of showing early on, but he's played in like 3 or 4 games. And Tibbs is like, Tibbs will run our starters 40 minutes and like he doesn't care about playing Toppin. He just wants to win the game. But I think he should be a good player. He's looked explosive at moments, and then sometimes I'm like, where's the leaper that we saw in college? But he's actually a little bit older, but Quickly, I mean, the Knicks have a point guard. That's pretty cool.
There's some money to be made listening to Calipari. I got to be honest. Maybe not this year in Kentucky. I always talk about the overlap of if you watch college, you really understand college basketball, you'll see which skill sets transfer. And more often than not, Calipari has a really good read on which of his players are going to do well in the pros.
Yeah.
Any final words? Can you remind people where they could follow you and any final words, man? This is awesome. Kind of an old soul. You're very wise, but you have such positive energy. It's crazy. I can't believe you're only 24, brother.
I appreciate that. I had a lot of fun. Like, I think you two have a great dynamic. Like he's got to let you talk a little more because I can tell he's a loudmouth, but he's a really funny guy. And I enjoyed coming on a lot. I would love to stay connected. The name of the podcast is what?
Luka's Tigers and Bronze. Luka Tiger LeBron podcast.
Okay. So obviously I own the LeBron, but my next thing that we're potentially trying to figure out, I believe, and I don't know how it would actually work because he's an owner, but I interviewed Mark Cuban. I've talked to him before. The Mavs were the first team to take Bitcoin in an arena. I think a Luka buy, whether it's his jersey number or number 1, whatever it is, I think you could stock up on Luka's and sell a portfolio to Mark Cuban at some point in the future. He's a special player. He doesn't have obviously what LeBron has and rings and championships and all that. But Luka, I thought it was funny that the name of the podcast had Luka and LeBron. Luka's a cool guy. That's my last word is if you got a little money, look into some Luka Doncic.
I love it, brother. We get DMs. People are telling Cage, let Andrew speak more. But I like it. I know what I think. I want people. Yeah. I want to put out a good product. To me,
you're listening. Yeah.
I know my opinion. You know what I mean? It's in my head. But I want people to make sure that they get a good product, and they know if they DM me, if they want me to elaborate on anything, My DMs are open.
I mean,
it's harder to answer DMs these days, but they're always open.
A man of fewer words, right? And I would say, like, if there was anything to clip from the podcast, it was what you said. Like, the market lags. Watch John Zion, watch tier 2, watch tier 3. It'll come up with it. So you dropped the best tip for anyone listening. So
Appreciate you, brother. I hope we connect again.
Thanks for tuning in again, everybody. We're back with your favorite podcast, Luka's Tigers and Bronze. Oh my.